Ever wonder how a sleepy back road in DeKalb, New York got a name that sounds like something you'd pour milk on? What if I told you that Rice Road isn't just a name? It's the crumbled remains of a breakfast empire that almost happened right here in the North Country. That's right. Before there was snap, crackle, and pop, there was lightning, moonshine, and one very unstable steam popper in a barn held together by hope, twine, and 3 generations of bad decisions. This is the tale of how DeKalb nearly became the breakfast capital of the world, and how a man named Cyrus Rice got one crunchy step away from cereal history. Welcome back, everybody, to Street Sign Storytime, where even the quietest roads have a story loud enough to rattle your spoon. Let's travel back to the story, DeKalb, 1897. While most folks were busy with cows, hay, and avoiding, frostbite, Cyrus J. Rice had a vision to grow rice in the frigid soils of northern New York. When people laughed, he told them, "Cold air adds crunch." When they kept laughing, he built a sign that said, "Rice will rise," and planted it dead center in his frostbitten field. His neighbors, they mocked him. His family, they disowned him. The cows, they even gave him the side eye. But Cyrus, he persisted. He installed a steam-powered irrigation system made from old plumbing parts and one piece of a wood stove he claimed was blessed by Thomas Edison. The crop, it failed, naturally, but the name stuck. Locals began calling the path that led to his crunchy graveyard of dreams Rice Road, partially out of mockery, but partially because it was easier than saying the frozen mud trail behind the guy with the rice thing. I mean, they weren't wrong, right? And then, a couple of years later, the great puffing accident happened, because it was 1899, and, this story starts to take a turn, and this one's got pop. It was a lightning and thunderstorm like no other. Lightning cracked the sky, chickens screamed, and inside the Snap Shack, Cyrus's makeshift barn lab brewery, set barrels of aging moonshine, piles of damp rice, and a heavily modified steam popper built from an old water heater, and a butter churn. Legend says Cyrus was trying to create the first crunchable, soakable grain snack for breakfast. He called it Mornin Boom Bites. FDA approval? Never heard of it. Then, the lightning struck. A bolt hit the barn's weather vane, fashioned from an old pitchfork, and surged straight into the popper. There was a sound described in local papers as a sneeze from God. The barn blew apart like a 4th of July finale. And what came fluttering down? Tiny, puffed rice pieces, crispy, golden, still warm. Kids, they gathered in the fields, picking them up like snowflakes and stuffing them into their mouths. One local boy, old Billy Toothless McGraw, declared the rice spoke to him, muttering the now iconic phrase, snap, crackle, pop. Billy later lost a tooth on an uncooked batch and sued Cyrus, and you'll never guess what he sued him for. 2 chickens and a goat. They settled out of court. So you're probably thinking, how did this local legend end up on cereal boxes nationwide? Turns out, Cyrus had a cousin, Mildred Rice, who moved to Michigan in 1901, got a job, get this, at the Battle Creek Sanitarium, the very one that was ran by none other than the Kellogg brothers. Coincidence? We think not. Some say that Mildred kept one of the puffed rice kernels in her apron pocket. Some say she scribbled Cyrus's recipe in a diary, now lost to history. And some say she fell in love with Will Kellogg and whispered, "Snap, crackle, pop," into his ear while he slept. By 1928, Kellogg's released Rice Krispies, claiming full credit. Cyrus Rice, forgotten. His barn, burned. His steam popper, now a chicken coop. And yet, the road still bears his name. Locals, they're going to tell you the real Rice Krispies were born on Rice Road, not in Battle Creek. And if you listen closely, on stormy DeKalb nights, you might just hear a whisper in the wind. Snap. Crackle. Crooked patent system. Or snap. I don't know. But you're probably looking for snap, right? But either way, today, the Rice Road, it's quiet. It's peaceful. It's the kind of place where you never guess it once hosted the Great Cereal War of 1902. Long story, involved molasses. But it stands as a reminder that behind every street sign is a story. Some are true, some are legend, and some are just weird enough to maybe, possibly, allegedly, somehow be both. So next time you pour a bowl of cereal, raise a spoon to Cyrus J. Rice, a man who dreamed of puffed rice, played with steam, and blew up a barn, all for breakfast. Thanks for joining me on this crunchy, borderline explosive episode of Street Sign Storytime. I'm Matt. Remember, some roads lead to adventure, others lead to breakfast, and a few, like Rice Road, lead straight to a story so flaky it might just be true. Stay curious, stay crunchy, and don't forget to check your barn for moonshine before plugging in your steam popper. But either way, that's all we got. We'll be back next week. If you have a road recommendation, drop it in the comments right about now. We'll see you next week. Stay safe out there. Take care.